First of all, we can't do 2 Weird Al shows unless you guys want to do a show without me Christmas Day, which I'm just going to go ahead and say you can't. So, unless we did part
we can
one,
make it the first one in January.
Well, that's another way of doing it. We can break this up over a period of shows, and do the first part on December 11th, break for the year, and pick it up again after New Year's, and then do the rest of it. Let's talk with Jesse and figure out. Well, I actually what I think we should do is all 3 of us kind of go through his catalog and pick your must listens and see how long the list is, and then figure out how many shows we'll need to do that. That make sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can dig it.
Okay, so we'll all between now and December 11th. We'll draw up our own list of songs that we got to get on the podcast, and then figure out what the repeats are, and put together a master list and go, okay, how many shows will this take, and then we'll figure out scheduling. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Metal Hammer of Doom. I am your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm pulling for Scottish independence, Mr. Mark Radulich, or as I refer to myself tonight, Captain Radulich, Yaargh. And joining me tonight, the Mr. Smee to my Captain Hook, Mr. Robert Cooper. How you doing, sir?
Yaargh Matey, tomorrow is talk like a pirate day, so remember, if you live somewhere where there's a Krispy Kreme donut on a Friday, that's tomorrow, dress up like a pirate, you get free booty, and by booty I mean donuts. It's really good to be back.
God, it's so good to be back, on time, because, the past 2 podcasts, I've shown up right at the end, and that sucked, because those were, two podcasts I was pretty excited about.
Have you seen the numbers for Baby Metal?
No, they're probably really high.
We're working on 700 archive listens.
Damn. It's almost
I had no idea.
I'm not surprised. So I'm still surprised Hatebreed's one of their number 1 listens.
Well, I'll tell you what. While I was on the Jonas Exodus, the Nightwish one that you did with Sean, that was really high. I think the Epica one was high too. The Sabaton one did less, but it still did respectable numbers compared to the other shows. But yeah, Baby Metal has blown everything on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network out of the fucking park, man. I don't know. Now, Jason Teasley thinks it's because my wife was on the show, but she wasn't really advertised until the last minute. So I don't believe, and no offense to my wife, but Melissa Radulich's web presence probably isn't as large and as penetrating as Baby Metal's. So I'm thinking, and this is just a theory, that the reason why we got such high listens for my dinky little network is because of the fact that we were doing Baby Metal, and not because elementary school teacher Melissa Radulich was appearing on the show. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there. No disrespect. It's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, they're touring with Lady Gaga, right?
They did 3 shows, yes, in California, as I recall.
See, that makes me sad, because I was hanging out with one of my best buddies on Friday. I'm like, you should listen to Baby Metal. He goes, yeah, I listened to one of their songs. I didn't like it, so I threw on, I think it was Megitsune, and he was like, It was pretty good. I'm like, right? And then I kept throwing in more songs. He's like, shit, we should go see them. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Us two burly men. We'll go watch the little Japanese girls sing.
You're gonna have to go to Japan. Last time I checked, but that was 2 weeks ago, and we are on to the next thing now. Pirate metal, folks. Hence the cheeky beginning. After we got done discussing Weird Al, because planning and I always like to give people a backstage look at what's going on. Not that I want to disrupt the magic that is the Radulich and Broadcasting Network, but occasionally I think people like an inside look at what's going on, because we put up such a professional veneer that sometimes you go like, how does a Radulich and Broadcasting show really come together? Sure, people are interested in that. That's my nose growing. In any case, Alestorm, pirate metal. They've been around. Their first release was in 2008 with Captain Morgan's Revenge, and I don't remember how I came upon Alestorm. It might have been through a friend of mine, just kind of sending me CDs still. It might have been just hearing them on. I think I have to go back to another band that did a song called Under Jolly Roger, and the whole concept of pirate metal, and I thought it was a great idea, and just pirate themed metal was very attractive to me, and I think because of my listening to Under Jolly Roger and seeking that out, if you seek out something on the internet, there's always these branches that steer you into like content. So you look for Under Jolly Roger by Running Wild, and it says, well, if you like that, then you'll like this other pirate metal band. And Running Wild is not necessarily a pirate metal band, but they did a pirate metal song. So somewhere along the way, I got steered into Alestorm. I got to see them live in Orlando a few years ago, and they didn't come in gimmick, but my wife kept referring to the singer and guitar player as Encino Man. And they put on for a club that was roughly the size of my living room. They put on an awesome performance. I got to see them with Twar, and they were just amazing. And I have been into them ever since. They've since released 2 albums: Black Sails at Midnight, which was in 2009, and then Back Through Time in 2011. We are up to their 4th full-length LP, Sunset on the Golden Age, which came out August 1st, past month, and it's great. It's the one thing I can say about them is if you enjoy the whole concept of pirate metal, you won't be disappointed. If you find pirate metal to be, silly or ridiculous or just not your thing, then you're probably not going to like anything on this album. But they did a great job with it, and I'm anxious to start playing some tracks and work our way through it. Robert, pirate metal, Alestorm, give it to me. You know what I want.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I don't really remember how I ran into Alestorm. I've probably heard them on some radio, metal radio show, or I know I've seen a few of their albums around the local used bookstore, which I actually got some awesome metal albums from the other day. Who Loves Immolation? What? Anyways, I don't really remember how I ran into them, but I remember when I heard them. Might have been when I was on a big folk metal kick. I was like, this is pretty interesting, because while I've never really been blown away by them or really sought them out, when I heard them, I'm like, okay, this is fun. They're plenty of fun. They have a fun gimmick, and their gimmick works in a way that it can last a long time, like baby metal. Except, there's a difference there. That it's a good thing these aren't a bunch of teenage Japanese girls, because this could be kind of awkward with all the talk of drinking. Yeah, they're a pretty cool band. I've been meaning to look up Swashbuckle too, because Swashbuckle is another pirate metal band.
Swashbuckle's not nearly as good. Swashbuckle, no. Swashbuckle, like everything European versus American. Swashbuckle is very high on gimmick and low on music talent. They just sound like another grindcore band, but it's grindcore singing about pirates. Whereas Alestorm, now let me.
I was going to say, it reminds me of the. Actually, I bought a Typo Negative album at that used bookstore. Yeah, I figured you would be very proud. Because, it's Bloody Kisses. No, the back of it says, don't just mistake lack of talent for like innovation or something, or creativity. Yeah, but yeah, I read that quote and I'm like, this was like '93. I agree.
Let me quick talk about the difference, and then we'll get into the first song. It's actually a really good example of this. If you think of the kind of instrumental music that goes along with the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, or the old movie reels that featured, anything pirate related, there's an epic sound to it. There's a certain quality and feel that you hear it and you immediately associate with heroism, you associate with adventure. You could go as far as to say, okay, that's pirate. I've heard that before. That's Pirates of the Caribbean right there. Okay, so fine. That is an established type of sound that Alestorm uses as sort of the base of all of their music. They also do a lot of like sea shanty type of thing. The old tavern songs that they kind of pump up. Okay, so that's Alestorm, and they do a really good job of that. And Sunset on the Golden Age is really just more of the same that you've already heard from the previous 3 albums. That's not an insult. It is what it is. The problem with bands like Swashbuckle is they do none of that. They're just grindcore. It's just death. Only the lyrics instead of, maggots will eat out your vagina and whatever, or I'm gonna piss I'm gonna piss on a nun's habit and set a cross on fire. Okay, deicide. Well done. None of that. But there's none of that. It's really the kind of the same music, only instead of singing about that sort of thing, they sing about pirates, and it's very gimmicky and not very good. But Alestorm is awesome. So let's get into the first track. You've never seen this? You're not missing anything. I mean, go ahead. If you don't trust my opinion, go listen to them on Spotify and save yourself some money, and you'll know, or YouTube.
Well, no, I would not buy the music. No, it's like a grind to me. Like, there's only a few grindcore bands I really like. Like, Napalm Death are pretty good. Like, their last one was really good. And yeah, really the only one I can ever think of that's even close to grindcore besides that is Cannibal Corpse. Like, grind to me is like, it melds together, because it's kind of stopped at that point where, like, even, like, I know you don't like black metal, but there's stuff in black metal that I'm like, yeah, that's fucking awesome music. Grindcore to me is like they took punk music, turned it up to like 11, and just kind of grunted, just kind of like, they hired a boar, and they're like, here you go, Pumbaa, just go at it. I mean, it sounds like Pumbaa just went on a rampage and somebody decided to play guitar. Like, I guess there's just like a certain point where I'm just like, like you just overdid it. You're overdoing the brutal.
Okay. While we're doing this tonight, for those of you following the news, now Alestorm is from Scotland, and so I thought it would be fun to link two things completely unrelated, except for the fact that they are involved with the same country. If you don't know, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of specifics because that's not the point of this podcast, and I'm not an expert in the subject. But it would appear that, and if you really want, a good summation of this, because I'm not going to give you one, go watch the John Oliver talk about this on his last show on HBO. Last week tonight, I believe is what it's called. In any case, Scotland is having a vote tonight to separate itself from the greater United Kingdom, which is England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. So they're voting for independence. They're breaking away from the United Kingdom and wanting to become their own country. And so since Alestorm are from Perth, Scotland, and Scotland is one of the big topics in the global news tonight, periodically throughout the night, I'm going to be checking in with Bloomberg.com, which has a live vote going on, and showing us what the tallies are. Right now, the overall vote for Scottish independence is 42.2% yes and 57.8% no. but that's with only 1, 2, 3, 4 of the precincts sending in declaring their results so far. I'll keep refreshing the page as we go through the night, and if things change, I'll report on that. So, yay, Scottish politics here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. Can you dig it, sucker? All right, let's get back to Alestorm. This is the first track off Sunset of the Golden Age. This is Walk the Plank. Walk the plank. All right, so that's a great beginner. That sounds like it would be awesome to hear live. Get the crowd going, get a mosh pit started. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was pretty cool. I was surprised with how heavy that riff was. I wasn't expecting a heavier sort of riff. I guess I was really looking at this almost like I would look at a Corpus Clowny album. The last Corpus Clowny album, that's a pretty sweet riff. But typically you kind of just expect pure accordions and, like, lutes and all that shit. But, yeah, this had a really good riff to it. It was a pretty cool song. I think maybe it wasn't 30 seconds too long, but, that's like a really minor nitpick. The funny story, at work, I was playing this in the truck, the one that the illegals come through, and the guy's Randy. We call him Boss. He's like 50 and from New Jersey and likes country music. He was like, he stopped. He's just staring at me. I'm like, what? He goes, what the hell is this? I'm like, they're called Alestorm. He's like, Jesus, I thought maybe you were trying to do an invocation to summon the dead. I'm like, no, but I have that on here if you'd like. He's just like, no, thank you. Yeah, I eventually ended up changing it to baby metal after he voiced his displeasure. Which I don't think he heard the baby metal, which was fine, because after that I went to Storm Warrior. Yeah, I should have just kept playing Wooden Leg on a loop, just for 4 hours. Wooden leg.
Well, I actually think the best song on here is the second one. It's the one that I quoted when Sam McCarty was on the Long Road to Ruin last week. I've been playing it on repeat in the car with my children. I've been telling people that I am here to drink your beer. I love this song, and while this whole album is great, it kind of only goes downhill from here for me. This is track number 2. This is Drink. And because they sound like Austrian death machines. No, let me go back to it. You ever listen to a song and in your mind you're picturing either it being performed by or being danced to by Muppets?
No. I guess maybe I'm just not a very joyous person when I listen to music. I don't know. No, that's a lie. I have listened to Baby Metal for a full week every time I walk through Winston-Salem State. And all the people that like the hip-hop music look at me like I just took a shit on their car.
I defy you to not listen to Drink and just picture, like, spindly-armed, furry Muppets, the kind that you would see on Sesame Street, just with their hands in the air like they just don't care, dancing joyously to Alestorm's Drink. That's the image I have in my head. Just like Grover and Elmo, we are here to drink your beer, and just rocking out with their Muppet cocks out. That's what I'm picturing.
See, when you start talking about Muppet cocks, I know where this is going, and furries creep me out, so no thank you. But
would you believe that there is a, and I'm going to say this because it requires a bit of delicacy on my part. There is someone in a law enforcement agency that I am intimately familiar with, of high rank and authority, who's actually really into furries and recently went to a convention.
Oh. I've heard they're really nice people. It's not my thing. I don't get it at all. But hey, that's what you dig. Sure. I mean, hey, there are plenty of weird people that like things like Rex Ryan's foot fetish. There we go. Bam. Bet you Rex Ryan wishes everybody forgotten about that, and everybody did until now.
Well, okay, so we've heard my weird thought. You know, I hear that and it makes me happy and it makes me want to get up and dance. And and in my head I'm picturing Muppets. Fine, I stand alone on an island to myself. What do you think of when you hear Drink? It's an awesome song. I think we can both agree. If it's not the best, it's one of the best ones on the album.
Oh, it definitely is. It doesn't, like I said, my favorite's a little bit later. I think it's Jesse Starcher's favorite song, too, as you commented in our little message that we got going. But, yeah, I mean, this song was awesome. Like, I was, again, walking through Winston-Salem State, the historically black college, going, we are here to drink your beer. And everybody's like, what? Huh? Like, I mean, I typically get, there's a few times where I'm just, like, headbanging and air guitaring. I need a haircut, but I have, like, really longer curly hair, so it's just bouncing everywhere. And guys are like, yeah, fucking rock on, man. But most of them are just like, huh? So singing about being here to drink their beer is a little awkward. But, like, this song, it's a really fun party-like song. Like, this is, like, if I were to have a metal party, this would be the shit I'd bring. This and Corporate Kalani and
it does make me want to crash through someone's wall and just announce that I'm here to drink their beer. Like, I feel like this is the 2014 version of the Kool-Aid Man going, "Oh yeah," as he bursts through a wall.
Instead,
instead of
like,
"We are here to drink your beer," and then that's it, and like walk away. Maybe take the beer.
And then you get hit in the head with a guitar, just for old time's sake. I had to bring that one through. I was like, oh, that would happen. But yeah, this is one of those songs that it's a lot of fun, and it's really lively and energetic. And as I told the boss man, when he's just like, sounds like you're trying to summon Satan, I'm like, the next song is about taking everybody's beer and drinking it. You can get behind alcoholism. You like beer. And he's like, yeah, I do like to drink a lot. I'm like, there we go. He goes, hey, I'm down for that.
There's a lot of universal truths in this song. A man has needs, and that need is booze.
And everything's better when the best thing is when you get it free. So
that's right.
Feel something else to beer.
Switching gears, track 3. This is called Magnetic North.
The snow fell hard on a frozen sea as the night swarms all around. With no moon to guide our passage north, this corpse of mine may never be found. We must fight far beyond the ice and snow. The voyage carries on. For blood and gold, we sold our souls. Redemption lies at magnetic north.
So there's the first song of the album where you truly get that quasi-epic, almost cinematic sound from Alestorm. It's the use of and you see this a lot in a lot of other power metal, folk metal, specifically type bands, the use of the fiddle or the violin. This is the first appearance of that on this album. Robert?
Yeah, there's definitely the fiddle where those rednecks showed up. I love that joke. It's such a stupid joke, but I love it. Yeah, I thought that really did help bring to the epicness of this song, because if you look at the other songs, like, the other one's kind of a lively walk the plank, and the other one's about stealing beer, and this one's like, we're going to die in this really frozen place. Fuck us. Yeah, I mean, this was kind of serious. Though I must say, I forget the vocalist's name, but him just singing with no instrument or very light instrumentation is a little jarring at times. Just because his voice is not necessarily what I would call pretty, but that's the point. Like, it works because he's a fucking pirate. Yeah, but it was a little jarring. But I mean, it was still a good song. This song was another really good one. It was fun. It's one I would definitely listen to again. And have listened to again. I've listened to this album like twice.
So I've just made a change. I'm going to announce this change right here, right now, on the Metal Hammer of Doom. The Long Road to Ruin page is now the Radulich and Broadcasting Network page. Other than the Whiskey Rebellion, which I'm going to still leave it its own page, and I'm going to go ahead and make a couple of you guys the administrators on this so you can add stuff on here. The Long Road to Ruin page is now the Radulich and Broadcasting, so all the shows can promote from this one page, and it doesn't have to be just this one, since I'm already promoting the Metal Hammer of Doom on here as well.
Yeah, see, I thought about making us a page once, like back when I wrote my column. I was just going to, like, advertise the column and the podcast at the same time. Then I got lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped writing the column.
Well, it's something I talked to Sean about. It's something I talked about Sean about doing a while ago. And if you're listening, hi, Sean. And I was just like, okay, I don't want to create 1,000 Facebook pages. So I didn't think we could. Now, I mean, the URL is still going to be Long Road to Ruin, but the page will read Radulich and Broadcasting Network. So there you go. And I will do some additions and subtractions on it to make it feel like it's more of a universal page for all of us. All right, getting back to the podcast here, we have track 4. This is 1741, the Battle of Potter Shanty. Fucking Mario Brothers here. I'm not playing all 7 minutes of that. Just a quick thing. I stand corrected. It actually is going to be facebook.com pages / Radulich and Broadcasting Network. So the Long Road to Ruin is not in the URL. It's Radulich and Broadcasting Network. Okay, I don't think anyone cares. Moving right along. So that was another one that follows in the same milieu as the previous one, where it sort of keeps to that epic pirate metal feel. It's more focusing on the pirate and less on the metal. Robert?
Yeah, this one was pretty good. It was solid. It was serious, and 7 minutes. That's not too bad. It's okay. I mean, it was a fun song. It was good. I dug it. Yeah, it's not the best of the album, in my opinion, but it was good. I like it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those. It's definitely one of those deals where, and this is going to sound like a criticism, like a negative criticism, but it kind of is what it is. in that Alestorm is one of those albums where you can have it on in the background, and very few of the songs will jump out at you and go like, oh my God, and really stand apart from the whole album. It's more of one of those experience albums where it's a lot of the same thing, but it's still different enough that I could at least pick out the song. It's not like death metal, where it's a lot of the same thing, and I couldn't tell you which song's which. This is one of those where it's just, okay, more pirate metal, and it's just, they can't, there's only so far they can go in any one direction. Let's move on to track 5. What?
I said, not One Direction. Are they going to cover them next album?
Oh God, maybe. If just, let me play this song. This is "Mead from Hell," and then I'll tell you what I was gonna do to you, but the fucking band messed it all up for me. All right, that's another mosh-heavy song. Definitely one I can picture people smashing into one another, having fun, dancing, getting their groove on. Boots scooting on the dance floor. Mead from Hell. Not what I was expecting. Again, normally when they sing about mead in particular, beer, ale, what have you, it's usually one of their sea shanties, one of their tavern songs. In this particular case, they went more of a punk rocky kind of thrash sound, and just again sang about beer, but did so in a way that makes you want to punch your neighbor.
Yeah, I could agree with that. This actually kind of reminded me a little bit of Beer by Corporate Connie. Just cause, I guess because of the fact that it was really upbeat and fun and swingy, and it sung about beer. Yeah, I mean, this is another one of my favorites. I think maybe the theme is I tend to like more of their booze-heavy songs, or their piratey songs, because I like a lot of the really fun and light and just entertaining songs. I mean, there are some of the heavier, more epic songs definitely work, but I think songs like these are the ones that work the best.
Yeah. Excuse me. All right. So I always have a drink handy. You ever fail swallowing? You swallow and suddenly you can't do it. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Right, speaking of that's what she said, and I'm going to look this up really quick just to see if I'm right about this. So we all know how much Robert Cooper loves Limp Bizkit. Just thinks they're the greatest band. Now, don't lie. Just Limp Bizkit is just the greatest thing ever. It's right up there with Megadeth for Robert. And I was going to surprise him. Robert's looking for the hang-up button on his phone. Robert hates Limp Bizkit. So I was. They're putting out a new album. Honest and true. They're working on a new album right now, and I have been haunting their Wikipedia page and trying to find out when the new album was coming out. In fact, I'm on it right now. Yep, Stampede of the Disco Elephants is still to be announced, And Stampede of the Disco Elephant is supposed to be out sometime this year. But this year is quickly ending. You know, we've only got a few months left, and there's been no sign of the Disco Elephants album. So it's just, we're not going to be able to cover it here. But my goal was, if they had actually released this thing on time, was to review Stampede of the Disco Elephants right here on the Metal Hammer of Doom and make Robert do it. I was essentially going to twist Robert's arm behind his back and shove his face into a toilet bowl and give him a musical swirly. That was the idea. And Limp Bizkit, because they suck all the way around, has screwed me out of that opportunity with this stupid inability to produce an album on time.
You know that swirly you would be giving me would be to a toilet full of shit. God. Like, you would probably, if you ever wanted to get me, just like really wanted me to do a podcast very, very angry, that would be a way to do it. Like, I would probably explode in a way that would make Sean Comer smile.
Well, there's still 2015, and if this ever actually comes out when it's supposed to, I'm not saying that I won't do it, but if you happen to see on the schedule on Facebook, what mystery album, let me just go ahead and blow the mystery up right now. It's Limp Bizkit, Stampede of the Disco Elephants. We're gonna do it. Mark my words. When this thing comes out, we're gonna do this because I feel like we owe it to the people. And you hear me say we owe it to the people, and you're like, oh, come on. No one wants to hear us talk about this. But hear me out on this, because I am dead serious. We owe it to the people to occasionally review an album that's so bad. How bad is it? It's so bad that we spend the entire podcast just trashing it. Let us remember, some of our best work here over the year, almost 2 years we've been doing the Metal Hammer of Doom, has been when we hate an album and we spend the entire hour and a half to 2 hours trashing the shit out of it. And don't you think the listeners should be rewarded with some of our best work, Robert Cooper? I'm going to give you a minute to think about that while we listen to track 6, Surf Squid Warfare, and then I'm going to shoot right to you with your answer. Waka, waka, waka. What say you, Robert Cooper?
You probably are right. Our best work does come, so I guess that would make it worth it. Though I will say,
I'm telling you,
it would make me angry. I mean, granted, that is when the best work does come, when you're just absolutely pissed off. Because that's how a lot of reviewing goes. Like, you know, that's how like guys like the Angry Video Gamer and the Nerd and the Nostalgia Critic got so big online, because, you know, they did things with a bit of anger and they were funny about it. And, you know, some people, they're funnier when they're angry, which Yeah, usually I'm just a little more vicious when I'm angry. But I guess we could do it as long as when the new Thross and Blot album comes out, we review that.
Which one?
It's called the band
what
is
album?
called Thross and Blot. It's I don't know the name of the album yet, but the band is called Thross and Blot. It's THRAWSUNBLAT. Why is it called that? Because it's an anagram for narwhal butts.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Thross and Blot.
Spell that again. THRAWSUNBLAT. Wait, stop. Too fast. Thross and Blot. Okay, it just came up on my Spotify. Okay.
It is like, yeah, I think their new one's coming out sometime next year. Like, they are a black metal band, but they're very interesting. Like, the first song off their last album starts out with a fucking piano. It's just like piano, like fucking Wild West piano, and then goes into like awesome guitars, and there's some growling and stuff. It's a very interesting album. There are 2 songs that are pure folk music on there. So hopefully the next one is going to be pretty awesome. So I will review Limp Bizkit if we review Thross and Blot too. So there we go.
Okay.
I've
just added. Well, this is going to become a very antagonistic podcast. Oh yeah, you're going to make me review that? Well, fuck off. I'm going to make you review this. How do you like them apples?
Well, the only one they have, I think they have the first one, and the one they have there is the one that came out last year, which is one of my favorites last year. So I totally recommend at least listening to that one. And the new one will probably be out.
I've just added it to my Spotify playlist, and so I will between now and the next one, I will listen to the 2013 release, "Wanderer on the Continent of Saplings." Okay, let's go back and actually talk about the song we listened to. Surf Squid Warfare, one of Jesse Starcher's favorite ones on here. What did you think of it?
I don't remember it as much because I think I only listened to it once. But I remember when I was uploading, I was in the middle of class when I uploaded the songs for this, by the way. I'm a great student. I spend my 3-hour-long class on Thursdays reading manga, doing my fantasy football work, uploading music, and then paying attention. That's right. Paying attention comes last. I mean, it's supposed to be an integrating technology into like classrooms class, but so far all we've done is shit with Microsoft Word, and the data teacher's like, "You know how to use spreadsheet, right?" I'm like, "Uh-huh." It was a pain in the ass.
I don't have a sound effect yet for breaking news. I do have, however, Goofy screaming. So for now, whenever we have breaking news here on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network, you'll hear this.
You should get the clip from. You should get the clip from Botchamania. Do you watch much Botchamania? Do you know when they pulled the lever?
I've seen Botchamania videos.
Yeah, well, they have a thing, like pretty much every episode when they do CZW, they pull the lever and it has John Zandy go, "Jesus!" Like, you should get Jesus that as your breaking news.
Either that or I need a Wilhelm scream.
Yes, Wilhelm. Yeah, Jesus would be hell. Next time I upload music, I'll upload Jesus.
All right. Well, we have breaking news here on the Radulich and Broadcasting. The vote in Scotland for Scottish independence is now gotten a little bit closer as more precincts are starting to check in. We have 49.1% yes and 50.9% no. So it's a 0.2% difference. It's gotten closer as the night has gone on. We are looking for a simple majority here. Once all the votes are counted, it's neck and neck right now. We'll see what happens. We'll keep checking in as the night goes on here on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network's production of the Metal Hammer of Doom. All right, moving on. Track 7. This is Quest for Ships. All right, that's a fun song. A lot of punk rock feel to it. Good fun song, good for moshing. Good, definitely a nice pickup after some of the songs before it. Quest for Ships, Robert.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. It's a fun song. It'll get you up and dancing and moshing and banging your head. It's fun. Like that's what I came here for. It's fun. Like,
see, this is the problem that we run into is there are great albums that are fun to listen to, but after you've said what you need to say about it, that's it. There's nothing more to say. There's not enough variety in the music on this album for us to kind of have a deep, in-depth discussion about where each track is going. It's no body count, is my point.
But it is no Children of Bodom. There's the next 3 songs, at least the next 2 songs, I have plenty to say about.
Okay. Well, then let's get to it, because this is a podcast, and a podcast is all about saying something, and Rob's got something to say, and let's hear him say it about Wooden Leg. All right, you said you have something to say, so say it. Say it already.
Wooden leg, wooden leg, wooden leg. I've got a wooden leg. No, that was actually not what I had to say, but God damn, that sounds fun.
Hang on, before you do, I have breaking news. Breaking news. In the spirit of pirates, I have some breaking news, keeping with the theme for tonight, which is Scotland and pirates, or Scottish pirates, as it were. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the football team, the National Football League Tampa Bay franchise, the Buccaneers, are presently losing to the Atlanta Falcons 56-14.
Okay. As a fan of one of the members of the NFC South, I know nobody can see this because this is a podcast, but I'm currently waving my middle finger in circles at every sports writer that was like, oh yeah, Carolina's going to be in last place, and the Buccaneers, this is their year, they're going to be great. Fuck you, Pete. God. I mean, yeah, Atlanta is the one kicking the shit out of them. But still, everybody's like, oh yeah, Tampa Bay, they're going to run away with it this year. Obviously fucking not. They don't have a competent quarterback at all. And obviously their defense shit the bed. Bunch of douchebags. Good job, Atlanta. Because I have a lot of Atlanta people on my fantasy teams. I have two of them. One of them's named after Kellen Winslow. And his being caught masturbating. The Winslow Whackers.
According to Steve Cook of 401mania.com and the Zonka Broadcasting Network, Tampa Bay's defense actually has scored 11 fantasy points in this game. Fantasy football defense scoring is broken.
Yeah. Wait. Whoa. No. No way. Huh. I guess it depends on what they did. Because
I'm presently on Twitter, and that's what he wrote. Tampa Bay's defense actually has scored 11 fantasy points in this game. Fantasy football defense scoring is broken. If you would like to take that up with Mr. Cook, he is at Ocho Sports on Twitter.
Huh.
And he does not know I gave him that shout out.
Well, I'm sure he'll figure it out eventually. Yeah, I don't know, because I think doesn't he do a sports? Yeah, he does a sports podcast, like a fantasy football podcast. So he'd know. Yeah, it is a little weird. So, because I haven't watched the game, I don't know what their defense has done. So, hell, maybe they got a touchdown and a few interceptions, a fumble, maybe a few sacks. I don't know. But when you give up 56 points, typically you should just be stuck at 0. Or you could be like the St. Louis Rams in week 1, who I was like, yeah, I'll start the St. Louis Rams. Why not?
So, is it kind of like chess, where if you go at some point you can or checkers rather, where chess is where you can start to bring pieces back into the game by taking other pieces. Okay.
Well, in chess you can get another piece if you get your pawn to the other side of the board.
Right.
And then you can resurrect some of your other pieces. But good luck getting that fucking pawn all the way up there. I mean, I'm not great at chess, but still. Yeah. The first week of fantasy football, I think I did start the Panthers over the Rams defense, but the Rams defense had -1 points. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. That's almost as bad. It's almost Tony Romo bad.
Yeah, I don't follow football. I keep getting advertisements to join DraftKings.com, and the part of my brain that wants fast money says, yeah, totally, you should sign up for DraftKings.com and try to win that money. And the other half of my brain that tells me not to throw money directly into the toilet says, you know nothing about football other than me go smash. Why would you join DraftKings.com? You won't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, you'd probably be screwed. I'm not I'm not even Teasley levels. Teasley's almost there. He's getting there. Yeah, I don't. I know a lot about my team, and I know a decent amount about the division. Otherwise, I'm Drew Bledsoe still playing?
Okay. And that's
Robert
Cooper, co-host of the sports show here on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. Oh, boy.
Well, that was real. Yeah, I need to come back to that podcast sometime. Always forget it's on.
Stop trying to
Maybe
get Mexicans illegally into the country, and you will.
Well, sorry, they pay me to do it.
All right. So when you drink, you get drunk, and then you wake up, you have a hangover.
I got a hangover. Whoa, I've been drinking too much for sure. I got a hangover. Whoa, I got an empty cup. Pour me some more, so I can go until they close up. Hey, and I can drink until I throw up. Hey, and I don't ever want to grow up. Hey, I wanna keep it going, keep it going, go. I got a little bit rash last night. I got a little bit wasted. I got a little bit mashed last night. I got a little shit faced. I'm on a ship. If you don't know, well now you know. I got a hangover. Whoa, I've been drinking too much for sure. I got a hangover. Whoa, I got an empty cup. Pour me some more, so I can go until it close up. Hey, and I can drink until I throw up. Hey, and I don't ever want to grow up. Hey, I wanna keep it going, keep it going. Come on, go!
That's not a fun song. A little bit different than the normal Alestorm type of song, but still, it was amusing. I enjoyed it. Definitely very upbeat. Not a tremendous amount of slow songs on this album, I've noticed. There was, and here's a criticism, and this is somewhat of a negative criticism. There was no Nancy the Tavern Wench kind of a thing. There was a couple of sort of swaying epic type songs, but no good sea shanty type songs like Nancy the Tavern Wench. Nothing that I can sing, nothing that I could see hobbits dancing to, and that's unfortunate. This was a more rock heavy album than the ones in the past. It's not a bad thing. It's still a fun listen, but it definitely seemed leading more on the metal and less on the pirate in terms of variety.
Yeah. Though you never did let me say what I actually did have to say about the last song.
Pardon me. Pardon me, sir. So shut up and you tell me when you're done.
Okay, well, then I'll get into this song. Anyways, the last song was a lot of fun. So it did make you think, well, if the Spaniards blew off his leg, how did he lose the first leg? Did he, lose it because the other Spaniards blew it up? And that also begs the question, where's this guy from? Is he Portuguese? What year is this in? I don't know. But then he got in a fight with a samurai, but he said the samurai used ninja skills, and that's just not right. That's not how that works. Ninjas kill samurais, and vice versa. Is this guy too drunk to tell the story right? And he lost an arm. Actually did like how he's like, wooden leg, and arm. He kind of threw the wooden arm in there, too. That was funny. I mean, that song was one of my favorites because it is very punk. It is a very punky song, but it's a lot of fun and it's got enough of the swingy piratey stuff, and it is about something as silly as losing it's something as silly as losing one of your limbs or 3 of your limbs. Oh, funny. But yeah, that song was awesome. This song, this song's a cover, right?
Hangover?
Uh-huh. It's a cover of a...
Yeah. What's the name of the band?
It's not a band. It's a guy. Teo Cruz, I think. It's some shitty pop song.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
It does put the song in perspective. But listening to this song, they did a really damn good job of making it palatable. Because the original song is kind of what I really, really dislike about pop music nowadays. I mean, I don't like pop music much in general.
But you do love your Limp Bizkit.
I don't like my Limp Bizkit. And since we know what a Limp Bizkit is, that's even worse. Anyway.
Don't be coy. Don't be coy, Robert. Don't be coy. We all know you love the nookie. You do it all for the nookie.
So you can take that cookie and stick it up your ass. Yeah, I know a little Limp Bizkit.
I thought it was stick it up your yeah.
Was it? Oh, was it stick it up your yeah? I thought it was stick it up your ass.
Stick it up your yeah. Stick it up your yeah. If I wrote that song, you know how it would have gone? Would have gone, stick it up your
You know what's even funnier? That's probably the sound Goofy makes when his proctologist is like, all right, here it goes, stick it up the yeah.
All right. Anything else before we move on to the last song here?
Yeah, I mean, this song, it was, like I said, the pop music, this is one of those really stupid songs, kind of like what I also hate about country. I don't like country much anyways, but a lot of it's just really about just partying and drinking, and this song is like, oh, I'll stop drinking when I grow up, and I never want to grow up, which that almost pisses me off, because it's almost a bad message. I know it's for stupid 20-somethings and teenagers to listen to and be like, yeah, I'm cool. But really, it just kind of puts a message out there that at the end of the day, you don't want to be an adult. You just want to party all day and get drunk and then end up having 3 kids from 3 different, other people, and probably try and trade your paycheck for marijuana. That's right. Remember, kids, when you listen to Teo Cruz, you smoke the wacky tobacco. If we made a new Reefer Madness, I would write it, and that's how that would happen. Yeah, the original song is shit, but they managed to put a lot of folk in it. Like, there's a really good, some really good accordion stuff in here. There's some nice violins. Like, it felt like almost like one of their songs instead of a cover of a shitty pop song, which Alestorm is really good about covering random shit. Like, they covered You Are a Pirate from Lazy Town, which, by the way, Lazy Town is a terrifying show. Those puppets scared the shit out of me. You know what puppets I'm talking about, right? You have children. Aren't those puppets terrifying? God.
We're more of a Disney family, so I don't have that much exposure to them.
Oh God, I've never watched it, but I've been to a few Burger Kings where that was playing because they put it on the Channel 12, and that's what Channel 12 shows. Which, by the way, really sad. The days of basic local channels showing action-y cartoons and TV shows is now dead on Saturdays. That makes me sad. It's all educational stuff. And you know what? Fuck educational TV on Saturday mornings. Nobody wants to watch that shit. Anyways.
Wait, on the major networks?
Yeah, on your CB. On the
channels, 3 major networks. There's no cartoon blocks from 7:00 in the morning until noon.
No, the last one was Vortex on CW, which Saban owned, and that slot got sold 6 months ago to somebody else. Because they, nobody really watched it, I guess, because cartoons are available all day, every day now. It's not really a thing, but it made me sad. So I think by the end of the year, that block is going to become an education block. So, yeah, we don't get any more, Saturday Morning Slam, which I watched Saturday Morning Slam once. That shit was fun. It was a lot more fun than growing up.
I've heard it was a fun show.
Yeah, and Mick Foley was the commissioner. So, yeah, it was plenty of fun, and it was goofy, and you got to see, the Funkasaurus. You got to learn his dance. So, yeah, it was a good time. But, yeah, they covered You Are a Pirate from Lazy Town. And it was really fun, and I actually used that version. Well, I didn't get to use that version, but I used that song for a presentation in a class last year. it worked. It was pretty good. Yeah, the Alestorm cover of it's pretty fun. You should go listen to it.
I was thinking when it comes to fun Alestorm covers, the one that jumps out at me is their cover of In the Navy.
See, we'll cover that. We'll next time we do the Metal Hammer of Doom presents our favorite covers too. We're gonna play that. We're gonna play In the Army Now by Sabaton, and then we're gonna see what else there is.
Yes, the next Metal Hammer of Doom all covers episode is tentatively going to be called Army versus Navy.
The Army Navy Bowl.
Yes. All right, last song. It's about 11 minutes long, so I'll let this one play for a little bit. This one is Sunset on a Golden Age. Okay. So one thing we know about that song is that while the singer does his gimmick very well, he can't actually sing.
Maybe he could do it better if he weren't doing the gimmick. I feel like he's got it in him. There's potential. He could totally do it. But yeah, it's not the best singing performance ever. This is no, Where Eagles Dare off of Peace of Mind by Iron Maiden. Yeah, it's no Beyond the Realms of Death. It's no Holy Diver. But I mean, it's still good. I mean, this song, it was long, a little too long. Like 11 minutes is pushing it. I feel like the track 4, that one, I think out of all the slower songs, that one's the best. That was a really good song. I enjoyed it. But this one, I was like, yeah, I guess this is the end of the golden age, because this song's not as good.
All right, Overall, I'm starting to talk over you again. I just want to make sure you're done. Overall, it's a great album. Not enough differentiation for me to say too much more about it than, if you like pirate metal, you like Alestorm, you like Scottish independence, you like the Atlanta Falcons. By the way, Atlanta 56, TB 14, the final score there. So if you had money on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you have money to burn. You have money to just piss away on bad bets. If you like all of those things, then you'll like this album just fine. It's a good driving album, something to put on, keep your mind off the long road ahead. Definitely, I would give it a solid B. Robert?
Yeah. I kind of like that placement. A B is oh, shut up, little cat. I'm going to cook you. Anyways, that's the way I talk to my animals. I love them, but I do threaten to cook them and sell them to the Chinese restaurant down the road. Because if anybody's ever been in the South, they know every single town has a nail salon and a Chinese restaurant right next to each other. Anyways, it'll be the pretty good one. Like, this is it's got a lot of replay value, mostly because there's a lot of really fun songs, and you will find yourself bobbing your head and dancing and bobbing and weaving. It's going to be fun. It's a great time. You're going to ultimately be pretty happy with yourself for buying this album. May not be one of the best of the year, but, I mean, it's still up there in terms of albums that aren't necessarily great in terms of what they do, but it is still really good in terms of, your experience. It's better than the equivalent of a popcorn movie. I'll say that. But yeah, it's still a fun album. Probably a solid B. I usually give out C's. So yeah, B's pretty good. I can take it.
I didn't realize there were audiobooks on Spotify. I'll be damned. Okay, so that is our show for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Kind of an abbreviated show for us, but no point in dragging this out if we don't have to. It was what it was. Next, in 2 weeks, we'll be doing the new Dragon Force album as we skip merrily through the periwinkles of the fall 2014 Metal Hammer of Doom schedule. We've got Facebook here. I just did the schedule a little earlier today. You think I would have remembered it all, but I have the memory of a goldfish. So, okay. So Dragon Force, the beginning of October. On October 16th, we'll be doing Cannibal Corpse, and then I will be driving to Tennessee, so that'll be fun. On October 30th, we'll be doing Orange Goblin, Back from the Abyss, and I believe Jesse Starcher will be on with us for that one. On November 13th, Primus is back and is covering the entire Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory album. So we'll be covering Primus and the Chocolate Factory with the Fungi Ensemble. I will be taking Thanksgiving off, but Jesse Starcher and Robert Cooper will be keeping my seat warm as they review the new Scar Symmetry, The Singularity, Phase 1, Neo-Humanity. Yes. And as we talked about at the beginning of the show, on December 11th, we will be doing, we'll end up being a multi-part Weird Al Yankovic retrospective, and Jesse Starcher is going to help out with that as well. So that's our that's the plan for the fall. I can't imagine. I mean, unless Limp Bizkit releases a new album, then I may have to change something on the fly. But just to accommodate Robert, because I know how much he loves the Nookie, and he indeed loves to break stuff. He breaks stuff while he loves the Nookie. That's what I've been told, at least. So look for that.
That sounds a little bad for everybody involved.
Okay. Beyond that, we had this past Tuesday was the Whiskey Rebellion. Myself, Gavin Napier, and Chris Evans We did all conspiracies all the time. We spent about an hour or so talking about the moon landing, and then we did a little bit on the Montreal screw job. I was inspired after watching the latest episode of the Monday Night War on the WWE Network. So if you like conspiracies, if you want to hear our discussion of the moon landing and whether or not it was fake, or if you're a wrestling fan and you want to hear us talk about how the Montreal screw job was the biggest work in history, go ahead and listen to Tuesday's Whiskey Rebellion episode. Jesse Starcher is starting a comic book show, I believe called Source Material, maybe not. But look for a comic book show on Monday, but from Jesse Starcher. He's getting his own show, so that ought to be interesting. Meanwhile, on Sundays is the 401 Ground and Pound radio show with Robert Cooper and Jeff Harris from 401mania.com. Robert Cooper is supposed to be doing a podcast. Sorry, Robert Winfrey is supposed to be doing a podcast on Fridays called Everyone Loves the Bad Guy, but he hasn't recently. So not sure why, not sure what's going on with him, but that's his normal spot. And then Robert Cooper has, next Thursday is the Long Road to Ruin. I will have on Robert Winfrey. We'll be talking the Matrix trilogy. All right. What are your podcasts, sir?
Well, there's, of course, this podcast. Duh. There's the Cooperative Multiplayer Podcast, which is myself, Sean Garmer, and Daniel Anderson. That's supposed to be live, like Sunday nights or Wednesday nights, but we haven't quite gotten that right recently. We keep missing a lot of stuff. Shut up. Get in there. Anyways. All right. We keep missing things because people have realized, that happens. But yeah, we'll be back hopefully this Sunday to talk about video games. Pretty good. It's usually a really good, well-spent 2 hours. If you like me, you just like to hear me talk, usually by the last, hour, that's what you'll get. Because I'm really good at just randomly running my mouth once the material is gone. It's great. It's a great time. It's fun. Yeah, it's a good podcast. If you want to hear people talk about video games, I recommend it. It is on the Cooperative Multiplayer page on Spreaker.com. I definitely recommend looking at it. I think it's also on it's on Spreaker. I think it's on iTunes. It's on what's that thing? Stitcher Radio. That's there. There's also the my apparent column that I'm going to bring it back one day. The Hammer of Doom news report. If I bring it back, it won't be a news report since full on stopped doing that, which is good for everybody but me, because I had a pretty good editorial news report balance going. But oh well, I still got to talk to Jeremy. I've just been really busy lately, so I haven't got a chance. And finally, the Sentai Hentai Frentai Family Fun Japanese Fun Time Podcast, or as I like to call it, the Sentai Rider Podcast. That'll be back soon. I got to get some computers fixed. Yeah, my computers are still dead, so I can't record anything. But the longer we wait, the more backed up we get, and the more things we have to talk about. So, yeah, Kamen Rider Gaim's almost done. It's pretty good. Kamen Rider Drive will start the week after Gaim ends. There's still lots of anime for us to hit. There's so much. I'm excited. It's going to be great. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Sentai Rider Podcast. That is SENTAIRIDER Podcast. And, just look out for us. I need to post an update on, when's anything going to be posted. Am I going to record again? Am I dead? Because most of the people that don't know I do other podcasts, they probably just think I got hit by a truck or I got arrested by the INS for helping illegals over the border. So yeah, keep your eyes out for that. Can't wait to do more podcasts. But for everything else, I got nothing else. I'm done. Show's over,
all right,
kid. Pretty much.
Real quick, Sunday night after Night of Champions on the WWE Network, or a pay-per-view if they're still carrying it, right here on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network, the Casual Heroes are going to jump the fence and join me. We are going to do our usual monthly post pay-per-view show. So right after Night of Champion ends, you can check out the Radulich and Broadcasting Network, and we will be doing a Night of Champions review. With that said, I'm going to bed. So this is for Robert Cooper. I am the mandated reporter, Mr. Mark Radulich. This has been a Radulich and Broadcasting production of the Metal Hammer of Doom's review of Alestorm, Sunset on the Golden Age. Be well, be safe, and behave.